Dr. Amit? Yeah.
Yeah,
So on behalf of Scientific Committee, it's a pleasure and honor to introduce our distinguished speaker, Dr. Manish Singh, who is a glaucoma and cataract consultant at BBI Foundation, Kolkata. And he has been trained in Shankar Netralaya, Chennai. And to his credit, he has got various national and international awards in the field of glaucoma. He also received the Dr. B.N. Gupta Oration Award, and his academic contribution in the field of glaucoma is commendable. So we are looking forward to a great presentation, a case presentation by you, Dr. Mani Singh. Over to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Fairuz, for such a nice introduction. I like to share my screen first. Yeah, I hope it's visible.
Yes,
Yeah,
very.
thank you. So it's always a pleasure to be the opening batsman in this program. I like to share the case of a secondary glaucoma. This was a young lady, an 18-year-old lady who was already under treatment with the retina department for pars planitis and cystoid macular edema. When she came to us in the glaucoma department, her pressures in the right eye was 38 millimeter mercury on timolol, carbonic anhydrase inhibitors, alpha agonist, and oral diamox. So practically, she was using everything except prostaglandins. Left eye, the pressure were normal on timolol. So we'll be focusing on the right eye. Right eye vision was 6/18. CCT was normal. Angles were open on gonioscopy. As you can see here, superior temporally, she had received a subtenon Kenacort injection 2 months back, following which there was a spike of intraocular pressure. You can see the disc, already the cupping has started in the right eye. Left eye, the disc was healthy. There was some persistent CME in the right eye. We see the fields also, they were fairly advanced field loss with encroachment of the fixation. So basically we have a patient now who is young, who's got recurrent uveitis, has advanced glaucoma. The pressures are uncontrolled medically. So what is the next line of management is something I'm sure the panel will discuss on it. Personally, I believe the medical management doesn't have much role here because prostaglandin in a patient with CMA is something which is difficult to use and may not bring down the pressure to that extent that because the pressure is already 38 millimeter mercury. Whether to remove steroid or not, since steroid has been a causative factor, removing steroid will be useful. Coming to the surgical option, we can go for a trabeculectomy or a Ahmed glaucoma wall implantation or a RD or the Barveld implant, which is a non-walled implant. Trabeculectomy, what we have felt that over time in uveitic glaucoma, when you do trab, initially the success is good, but after 6 months to a year, once you have recurrent inflammation, often we see bleb fibrosis resulting in failure of the bleb. Since it's a patient with recurrent uveitis, young patient, and the pressure are high, even an RD implant may not be good because we need a quick reduction of intraocular pressure. Keeping all this in mind, I believe an Ahmed glaucoma wall probably is the best option we have for this case. There are a few studies which have compared an Ahmed glaucoma wall with a trabeculectomy in uveitic glaucoma, like this particular study which found over a 1 year period, and another study which is done over a 5-year period. They have shown that the glaucoma dentist devices do tend to give you a better result over a long term compared to trabeculectomy in patient with uveitic glaucoma. However, this particular study which was done over a 1 year period have found all the three to be almost equally good. Coming to the surgery is fairly routine what we do for Ahmed glaucoma wall implantation. What we did, we ballooned the conjunctiva with the hope that once we balloon the conjunctiva and we do a dissection in a subtenon space, we'll try to remove the steroid from inside. But to our surprise, there was hardly any subtenon Kenacort available. All the steroid which was there was actually in the subconjunctival space. So we went ahead with routine AGV. We secured the plate, we secured the tube. And after doing that, we covered the tube with the sclera as we do routinely, and we closed the conjunctiva using the 80 Vicryl suture on a round body needle. After doing that, what we thought that we should try to remove the steroid because steroid is the reason why we are having such high pressure. So what we did, we tried to cut the conjunctiva just over the depot steroid which was available, and we have to be very gentle in this case. It is not possible to remove whole of the steroid piecemeal, but at least part of it as much as possible if we can remove. So basically what we did, using the scissor, we tried to dissect as much steroid we can remove without injuring the underlying subtenon capsule, because we know this subtenon capsule, this tenon capsule is just above the plate. So if you injure that capsule and you end up with a buttonhole, your plate gets exposed and we actually will have to abandon the surgery. You can see the tissue here. So in this case, the only thing we did different by after doing the MS glaucoma valve, we removed the steroid as much as possible, and then we resutured the conjunctiva over the steroid depot using an 80 Vicary suture. Post-operatively, you can see the folds in the conjunctiva, so cornea, indicating that the pressure was well controlled on day one itself. You can see the minimal amount of steroid left. Most of the steroid we were able to remove. Over a period of 3 months and 1 year, we found that we were able to control the pressure with just 2 medications. So thankfully, the patient did well. So that was our case, and I'll show we'll have more opinion on this from the experts. Thank you.